We are no Jedi.
What's really great about 2023 is the gaggle of new series that we got that range from originals, the serial killer genre, and ones that borrow or are based on pre-existing fandoms, kind of like fan fiction. We have a lineup for you that will take you literally from criminal underbellies to outer space, with a few pit stops along the way. And we have more than just your average show, we have the best miniseries. 2023 Best Miniseries. Get your popcorn ready. Number 10, The Continental, from the world of John Wick.
We need guns. Lots of guns.
If you've ever followed the uber dark and violent world of John Wick, who's completely justified in everything he did after the Russian mafia killed his dog, then you might be familiar with one fascinating aspect of the movies, The Continental, and its strange sanctity that the worst of the worst respect. The series The Continental, from the world of John Wick, answers all your questions. Set in the 1970s in New York City, you'll see firsthand how the hotel that serves the underbelly of the underworld came to be. This is not a John Wick story, but it takes place in the same cutthroat universe, only this time, you'll see the origins of the High Table, the Bowery, and how every part of the city's underbelly works.
What I'm asking you to do is not easy. I'm offering you a chance to decide who you want to be.
Number 9, Love and Death.
Oh! You okay?
I'm fine.
Are you sure?
A different kind of snap. Elizabeth Olsen stepped away from the mantle of the Scarlet Witch and literally doused her hands in scarlet red blood for this role. HBO's miniseries Love and Death takes us all the way back to the 1970s, Midwest, and a housewife's rapid descent into insanity homicide. If you thought Olsen was a master of depicting grief and power, then you'll have a blast watching her portray Candy Montgomery, barely keeping it together. Olsen's performance is stellar, but the actual action of the show, will they catch her and won't they catch, will grab you from start to finish. The other powerhouse in addition to Olsen is the magnificent Lily Robb as Betty Gore as well, who Montgomery kills.
Betty! Betty?
Number 8, Hijack.
Good morning, everyone. Flight time today is 6 hours, 54 minutes, and we wish you a safe and pleasant flight.
Bottleneck-like series that takes place over a short period of time or in a specific place always have a magic to them. This time, we have Idris Elba trapped on a 7-hour plane ride from Dubai to London that's been hijacked by terrorists. Action on flight KA-29 takes place almost right away, with hijackers locking down every class. Meanwhile, corporate negotiator Sam Nelson tries to save everyone on board. And, slight spoiler alert ahead, how Idris Elba ends up intertwined with the conflict. Chef's kiss.
We need to get a message to the whole plane. We just need to be ready.
Number 7, Mrs. Davis.
Is it okay if I proxy? Sorry, she'll speak to me through here, and then I'll just repeat whatever she says. Not she. It.
Mrs. Davis gets wilder the more you watch it. The premise is that Sister Simone, played by Betty Gilpin, is ousted from her convent by an artificial intelligence called Mrs. Davis schemes against her. Sister Simone embarks on a warrior nun-esque mission to seek revenge on Mrs. Davis. But the road to revenge leads elsewhere, a search for the Holy Grail. She enlists the help of Wiley, her ex-boyfriend, and a resistance movement leader. Can they rise up against the machine? Mrs. Davis feels like an insurmountable threat, one step ahead of them every time.
She wants to talk.
Talk to you.
If I say no, it's just gonna send someone else, isn't it?
Probably.
Number 6, Queen Charlotte, a Bridgerton story.
Be careful. You are the first of your kind. You must secure your position.
What's so great about this show is that you can enjoy it on both even and odd days. If you thought that nothing could top Daphne and Simon or Kate and Anthony, then Queen Charlotte's origin story and absolutely breathtaking marriage to King George will prove you wrong. Such a romantic and eternally beautiful love story. India Rhea Armatafio as Charlotte and Corey Malcrist are absolute gems, their chemistry evident even in their viral interviews. Watch as Charlotte grows in a powerful queen, and tragically, as George descends into madness as shown in Bridgerton. Oh, to watch the blossoming story of Brimsley and Reynolds all over again.
You refuse to help a lady in distress.
I refuse when she's trying to go over a wall so that she does not have to marry me. Hello, Charlotte.
Your Majesty.
Number 5, Daisy Jones and the Six.
I wanted to tell you.
Daisy, look, we don't need to argue.
I was just gonna say that I love the sound of your voice.
When Stevie Nicks came out herself and said Daisy Jones and the Six was like looking into the past and actually praised the show, she cemented the belief that this show is like no other. We see Daisy Jones, played by the charismatic Riley Coe, and her band the apex predators of the music industry in the 1970s. After one sold-out show at Chicago's Soldier Field, they mysteriously broke off, the Beatles, One Direction, and of course, Fleetwood Mac style. Decades later, documentary style, the truth is revealed. What's particularly praised is Coe and Sam Claflin's off-the-charts chemistry. Deviations from the book fans actually enjoyed, and they're singing.
I mean, are these even lyrics?
Yes, they're lyrics.
Kites fly in a
It's a metaphor.
For what?
It's for feeling untethered or adrift.
Maybe just say that then.
Number 4, The Lost Flowers of Alice Hart.
When I was little, I used to dream about fire.
Flowers have never looked more charming, beautiful, and paradoxically menacing as in The Lost Flowers of Alice Hart. You definitely need a trigger warning for this one for domestic violence, and verbal and physical abuse. It's the story of Alice, played by the 100's Alicia Dubham, whose parents die in a mysterious fire. She's sent to live with her grandmother on a flower farm. Sigourney Weaver's performance alone will take you on a journey. Dislike, intense hate, to respecting and loving her. Plus, it's super interesting to see the symbolism of flowers.
I know you said not to contact you. And I know how angry you must have been when you left.
Number 3, A Small Light.
What would you have me do when Mr. Frank asked? Say no!
Ask me.
I didn't think I had to consult you before deciding to save a person's life.
This is one story whose tragic ending we already know, but not like this. Let's just give all the awards all at once to Bal Powley. This is the real-life, heart-tugging story of Miep Gies, whose name is often almost synonymous with the story of Anne Frank. He played a critical role in hiding Anne and her family in Amsterdam during its Nazi occupation. Powley is incredible. Joe Cole takes over every scene. You also see struggles you'd never otherwise think about the atrocities of Nazi Germany. And when that last episode hits, a horrified tears-jerker.
Did you hear that? The Queen wants her diary.
And I can't wait to see it.
Dude, get down!
Number 2, Beef.
What are you doing? Whoa. Stop. Stop.
Here's one sentence to get you hooked. 2 strangers get into a road rage incident that brings chaos into their lives. Glenn died so that Danny could run, but it's more than okay. Amy Lau and Danny Cho, played by Ellie Wong and Steve Yuen, are phenomenal. Beef, which may catch you off guard with its name, is one of 2023's most intense shows. It's laugh-out-loud funny and duck so no one sees you cry sad. The show has always been intensely praised for its portrayal of the Asian community and the multi-layered exploration of its relationship. From minute 0.1 to the last minute of the 10th episode, you won't be bored.
You're the one that flipped me off all roided out and Hey! Are you guys leaving, or are you just gonna sit there? What'd you say? What'd you say?
Say it again! I dare you to say it again!
Before we reveal our first pick, let's look at some honor The Crowded Room.
Please, no!
Transatlantic.
Our great country takes the Jewish problem very seriously.
Secret Invasion.
This is personal.
Dead Ringers.
You were looking really crazy for a while there. As it turns out, I'm really sane. Isn't that wonderful?
Number 1, Ahsoka.
You never made things easy for me, Master.
To enjoy Ahsoka to the fullest, you might want to watch Rebels and Clone Wars. 2 words, well, 3. Epic lightsaber fights. Better than any of the movies and in the prequels. In a galaxy far, far away, former Jedi Knight Ahsoka Tano meets a dilemma. The bad guys want to free Thrawn and let him wreak havoc on the universe. The good guys want to protect the New Republic. The protagonist, Ahsoka, runs circles around her plethora of interesting characters. You have Hera, Shin, Sabine, Chopper, Balin, and more.
I know you can do